How's it going, everybody? It's your world champion Watkins here, and this week we've got a different kind of video ahead of us here. So it's been almost a year since one of the most influential mangaka of all time passed away, Akira Toriyama, and it's been an interesting year to say the least for Dragon Ball, because the super manga had to end. We had a new anime coming out that he actually created. This is his last creation they left on Earth for us, and we got the final episode coming out this week. And I wanted to take some time at least to, I guess, get my thoughts and feelings about Toriyama out, and I guess about how Dragon Ball kind of influenced me, maybe my story with it. This video is gonna be a little bit of a ramble because I just want to talk about my experience with the series and how it impacted me with my life. And as many of you guys know, I'm in my 30s and all that, so I'm probably an older nerd for some of you young kids out there, all you whippersnappers out there. So I started watching Dragon Ball Z back in elementary school. This was 98, 99, maybe 2000. I can't really remember the exact year. Man, it was one of those shows that was always on after school. I would always watch it after school, and my first introduction to Dragon Ball Z was the Otherworld tournament. So I got to meet Paikon, Olibu, all the other Kais. They were my introduction to the series. So imagine little old me, who, when eventually growing up, realizing that was all filler? Nah, that sucks. I wanted Paikon to come back so much. In fact, part of me thought that Piccolo was Paikon at the beginning of the Buu saga, but I learned who Piccolo was eventually and all that. And yeah, just even going into the Buu saga, my introduction to Gohan was him as the Great Saiyaman. Vegeta was kind of just still standoffish. Piccolo was just there. Same with Krillin. These characters that were big in the past, I didn't really know much about them, except Goku had blonde hair. He could turn blonde, turn into the Super Saiyan thing. I can't mention my school years of watching Dragon Ball Z without mentioning a story that I'm sure my friends are tired of me talking about. I started watching Dragon Ball Z with the Otherworld tournament, Buu saga and all that, and it got to the episode, and I remember this clear as day. It got to the episode where Vegeta sacrifices himself, and so this big moment happened, and that ended the hour block. So all night and all day the next day, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, did Vegeta survive? Did Buu survive somehow? What's going on? Nani? So I get home, anticipating, waiting, anxiously wanting to watch the next episode. Start Dragon Ball Z, and it starts from the beginning of the series. I'm seeing little baby Gohan, I'm seeing Raditz. I am so confused about what's going on, and luckily the internet was in its infancy at the time, because I just hopped onto dbz.com and started reading episode synopsises of synopsi, if you will. Maybe that's the right plural for it. But anyways, I started reading just the episode summaries of Dragon Ball Z. So I read the summaries from the Saiyan saga, the Namek saga, Frieza, Android, Cell, Buu, all of them. So that's how I kind of caught myself up with it. I also discovered Dragon Ball was a thing, and eventually GT started coming onto our TVs in America. Things were really big with Dragon Ball, enough to, even the kids on the playground, we even had our own things. We were playing Dragon Ball Z in the playground and all that. There were my friends who were trying to tell me that they were secretly training in this facility at night, trying to become Super Saiyan and all that. I even broke my wrist one time because I was just playing in the woods, pretending that I was fighting Majin Buu and that I had reversed his chocolate beam, and so Buu turned into chocolate, and he was flying down and jumped up, and I broke my wrist falling down. So even as an elementary school kid, Dragon Ball Z was very big in just getting me to be imaginative and playful and all that. And it continued on in middle school. I still watched Dragon Ball there. GT was kind of airing at the time, so Super Saiyan 4 was doing its thing, and even into high school. Like, I discovered my band director was a big Dragon Ball fan. Like, I found that out in my senior year of high school, but it was still really cool to find out. I'll never forget that with my first paycheck, I had gotten a job like going into my sophomore year of high school. I had gotten a job, and with my first paycheck, I saw this box set at Walmart. Some of you might know the orange box sets of Dragon Ball Z. These are my bread and butter when it comes to watching Dragon Ball Z, and even Dragon Ball too, because like it has the dub, like the English dub in it, but it also has the Japanese soundtrack behind it, and like it just kind of changes the experience from the kind of in your face Bruce Faulkner score. It just makes it feel like such a different series. But yeah, it's so cool too, because it's like it's got this marathon feature on it where like it'll play the first opening, and then the rest of the episodes, it's just the episodes. No, next time on Dragon Ball Z, and like the preview and the ending and all that stuff. No, it just plays it on through. So like you're watching like a 2.5 hour long movie when you're just watching a single disc and all that. But man, it's so cool, because like this is like the start of me collecting like all this stuff too. So man, I hold these with high regard, and I always try to have them displayed when I can. I mean, moving on to the college years too, I mean, I took the lessons from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and just tried to use them into my own life, trying to become a warrior in a way, because I was using chores as like a way of training, as a way to kind of like zen myself out, kind of meditate a little bit. I started kind of getting more into the music of Dragon Ball, which makes a lot of sense because I was studying music at the time. And hell, I even joined a music fraternity and was using Dragon Ball Z to teach lessons to people, to like connect with them, and to show that like there's so much to do in life, and like a way to just push yourself forward. When I mentioned pushing yourself forward, it does kind of get to a little personal spot too with me, where there was a time in my college years where I did think about ending it all. Like things got pretty bad for me up in the old noggin. As cheesy as it is, as cheesy as it sounds, so get your lactate for it, I was on the verge of doing that. Like I was on the verge of just ending it. And I looked at my clothes hamper, and the shirt that was on top of that was my Goku shirt. I probably should have gotten it out too, but it's like it's the Goku shirt where it has like the Z symbol here for like the turtle hermit, and like on the back it has King Kai's symbol and all that. And I looked at that and I realized, nah, I need to keep pushing forward. I need to keep going, because Goku wouldn't end himself like that. Vegeta wouldn't. I mean, he would sacrifice himself for the greater good, but not just to be like, oh, I'm sad and all that stuff. I didn't want to get too personal, too deep into the story, because that gets into a lot of emotions with it. But I mean, it just kind of propelled things in my own life as well, to continue pushing forward, to make those connections through Dragon Ball. I mean, when you look at the series, it all started with just a little ball. A girl finding a ball, wanting to find a boyfriend. And he created such a wonderful series that went even beyond its roots of Wukong, went beyond the Journey to the West stuff. Like, there's so much deep stuff going on in Dragon Ball. And the beauty of it all is it's simple. Like, Dragon Ball made me realize that there's beauty in the simplicity of life, and it makes you just kind of take a step back a little bit and just appreciate some of the smaller things and some of the quieter moments in life. There's just such a deepness to it, and it's amazing that somebody had a mind to create something like this. And even when you look at like stories of Toriyama's time with like his editors working in Jump and all that, you kind of see that he was riding on the seat of his pants a lot. And especially with early Dragon Ball, like he was a procrastinator to the T. Like he had to his transcripts were due at midnight that night, and he realized that they were at like 11:50 at night, oh, 10 minutes to send this in. Here you go. There's this week's chapter. Let's have at it. So like, it's just so funny when you look at interviews like that. And I mean, people want to be like, oh, you forgot this, you forgot that. Oh, there's a plot hole here, there's a plot hole there. I know, I don't care though. Like Dragon Ball, like the thing with Dragon Ball, because I'm still in my rewatch right now. I returned to my rewatch. We're doing the arc reviews again. I'm currently in the King Piccolo stuff, and it's just it just takes you back, man. I mean, even looking at my reaction to episode 19 of Daima last week, like it just took me back to a time that was just much more simpler. That's just the beauty of Dragon Ball, yeah, there's gonna be plot holes here and there. I get that, I understand that, but again, I don't care, because this series really just, it has a joy to it, and it has a joy that can really bring people together and all that, whether for the good or the bad, whether you're a meathead, whether you're looking at something deeper, it's there and all that. And it's just so crazy. Again, like Toriyama created this story, this simple story of a boy with a tail going to find magical wish granting Dragon Balls. It basically changed the world in a way. It influenced so much in this world, whether it's from other media, from people. It's just a beautiful thing, and I think I'm just gonna stop rambling right now, because like I could probably ramble for a good other hour and all that, but I don't have the time this week to do that. I know my story is just one of many out there, and I didn't really get too deep into it. It's just, I just wanted to get on here, ramble a little bit about Dragon Ball in between all the other stuff I do, and just thank Toriyama. I mean, I'm recording this before episode 20 drops of Daima, so I don't know how that's gonna end. I don't know how his last bit of creativity ends off in this world, but I wanted to say thank you for that, because without your little silly version of Journey to the West, I might not be here. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Yeah, I'm just gonna end it there. So, like the video and all that stuff. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss, next week's video, and as I return to these arc review videos and all that, and the Mushoku Tensei stuff and everything, let's just open a dialogue. I want to hear your story about Dragon Ball. I want to hear you ramble now in the comments below, because I'll be looking at them. I'll be responding and all that. Like, I do want to hear your journeys with Dragon Ball. So again, like the video, comment down below, subscribe, and as always, people, I've been your world champion, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya. I don't need you. Better things are coming on the way. I won't hear from you at all.